So this is the third business you founded. Why co-working space and why Singapore? How much demand is there?
Oh, it is. Oh, thanks for having me, Emily. It is definitely an exciting time for co-working. I think lines are blurring, especially when co-working is being offered to traditionally more entrepreneurs, more SMEs. But even the corporates are looking at co-working as well right now. This is a way for them, essentially, to save capex, a way for them to be flexible, a way for them to basically learn how to be nimble as small companies. So we are helping companies small to become big and big companies to remain small and nimble at the same time.
So WeWork has expanded from the U.S. into China. Is that competition?
Well, it is definitely a competition. I think we are very much focused in Southeast Asia initially, but we have the ambition to go beyond Southeast Asia towards Asia Pacific. But it is a very Asia Pacific play. The products and the technology and the value-added services that we provide are very much catered toward Asian companies expanding regionally. And I'm talking about freelancers, SMEs and large corporations across different industries as well.
Describe the state of the startup landscape in Singapore and Southeast Asia.
Well, it's definitely a good time to be in Southeast Asia, especially in Singapore right now. When I first started up my company 3 years ago, it was very difficult to raise funds. But nowadays, I think the funding amount that's available to startups across this region has raised from $500 million to more than $1 billion right now in just the last 12 months. So you see a lot of startups coming in, and you see a lot of startups getting more mature right now. And we've been seeing a few unicorns that's been come out of Southeast Asia alone.
So the new funding, what do you intend to use it for?
Well, the funding is to allow us to expand aggressively and quickly across Asia Pacific, right? But more importantly, it is for us to invest back into our members and businesses who are with us. And these companies are expanding quickly throughout the region as well. So we have one now in Singapore. We have another one being built in Singapore, and then a first office in Jakarta. And we plan to have another 30 offices in the next 3 years. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be quite exciting to achieve all of that in this short amount of time.
Now, you also founded a company prior called Spacemob that was acquired by HomeAway, and I'm curious what you see in the home sharing space with the rise of Airbnb and their own, global ambitions trying to get into China as well. Do you think Airbnb can succeed in China?
Well, I think everyone's trying to be successful in China. I think it's especially complicated for a non-Chinese company to do business there. But there are definitely ways. There have been success stories. I think one of the biggest things about Airbnb is definitely on the regulation side in China. But I think all these companies are trying to solve that. And I think the trend is definitely here to stay. So I don't see that to be an issue. I see that to be an opportunity for these companies to take on.
And we asked this question when it comes to Uber and ride sharing. Do you see one player rising to the top? Will this be multiple players, or is it a winner-take-all market? How do you see it in home sharing when it comes to Airbnb versus HomeAway versus the other global players out there? Do you think one of them, that a winner will take all, or do you think that there will always be multiple players? If so, how many?
I think Airbnb is definitely getting a very strong brand here in Asia Pacific, but there are various players that are really fighting it out. I mean, back then, Spacemob was really competing really hard with them as well. But I think what's really exciting is, the whole concept and principle of sharing economy has sort of migrated towards the working economy as well. And I think that's why I'm super excited to talk about, Spacemob, where it is about allowing the sharing economy principles to be applied to entrepreneurs, to freelancers, SMEs, and even large corporates here across Asia Pacific.